Hello, baddies.
What's up?
Hi.
My God.
How was
Why?
everybody's weekend?
Pretty good.
Hashtag Labor Day. Today's Labor Day. Shout out to the labor unions.
What up?
We're
As
union
celebrated
strong
by
over
not
here.
laboring.
We are union strong over here, so shout out to the labor unions for affording us the holiday of Labor Day.
Amen.
Shout out workers' rights.
What up, though?
All right. Speaking of laboring, we had some men who labored a lot this weekend.
Wow. Okay.
Both on and off the track. So we're going to get it started with fashion. I can go first.
Do it.
With my what not to wear. We kind of pre-discussed this, but
Yeah.
I will be pulling him up. George Russell, I have defended you in the streets when many said that you were fashionless. When people had said you had no swag, I defended you a little bit.
Where was the defense?
I defended him a little bit, just a tad.
A little bit.
A drop of defense. But unfortunately, since he has decided to cosplay as the mother from Freaky Friday, I cannot defend him any longer. What was
Leave
that?
Jamie Lee Curtis out of this.
He was serving Jamie Lee Curtis with that leather jacket and that striped turtleneck. I opened it up and I swear, and the hairstyle that he chose that day, I was like, George, you are serving Karen.
Wasn't it a middle part?
Yeah, I was like, George, you are serving the local Karen going to her local Harris Teeter because the coupons didn't work right.
Hi, George.
I know you can do better.
It gets worse every time I look at it.
Let's stick to the aristocratic looks. Let's stick to the looks that made people say that it looks like you hunt people.
That's the thing. I think that was kind of what he was going for, because if you look at what he wore, I don't even know if it was the next day or the day after, he basically did the same look, minus the turtleneck, and it looked so much better.
I did not see the next day, so I'll have to go hunt for that
Hold
one.
on. I have it. 1 second. Let me find it.
But it really hurt me. I was like, George, you're making me take back all the good fashion things I said about you. And so that was really sad. Check
your Instagram.
It was better when he did his aristocratic thing with Carmen the next day. That is way better.
You know what I mean? It's basically the same look, but he actually did it properly.
He did it properly. Yeah, this is a way better look than that one.
Which actually makes the turtleneck outfit that much worse, because you knew how to make it look good.
We know he could have executed, and he just didn't.
That's the part.
So that's the sad part. For my Project Runway, I think people will find this a little bit controversial. I don't think it's anything special. However, I have to. The lore is great. So we'll talk about this a little bit later. Lewis had a very bad qualifying. He was very down on himself. Talking this left, right. I'm not good at qualifying. I'm not good anymore.
He was furious.
He was really upset and sad about himself. He wouldn't even let the commentators compliment him. He was like, no, I am bad. Okay. And then he popped out with the sleeveless, slutty vest, no top, pants, hair down, his little twists, shades on. And he said, in the words of Megan Stallion, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, bad bitches have bad days too.
I hate you.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, bounce back, how a bad bitch always do. And Lewis took that to heart when he stepped out with that Sunday outfit.
Oh my God. No, he did Sunday
Megan.
very well.
He was listening to some Megan on Saturday, and he got back in his bag, and he popped out, and it showed in the race results. Being slutty showed in the race results. He really popped out, and for that, I'm proud of him. I don't think the outfit was special. However, he
just looked good in it.
He looked really good, so I was very proud of him. And yeah, so that's my what not to wear my Project Runway. Ladies, what are your selections?
So I concur with you on the Project Runway. We have the same Project Runway. I love that look. Now, it is my what not to wear, and can I have 2 contenders for what not to wear?
Sure, there's no rules on this podcast.
Heard, Chef. Okay, so, numero uno, Sir Esteban Ocon. What was that look with I don't even know if it was denim or if it was felt or if it was corduroy. I don't know what kind of material that was, because it's just strange. And then also, can you get a shirt where the neck hasn't been pulled? Like, it looks like you just pulled it out the wash about 3-4 times. Then how about you actually put your jacket on properly? Why is it half coming off your neck? Put your jacket on, get some appropriate, like, not appropriate, but like sensible fabrics. Because wasn't it really hot in Monza?
It was very hot this weekend, yes.
Exactly. You must be dying.
Tell us how you really feel, Philly.
I just did not like that look from him. I thought it was terrible. I thought he looked slovenly. I don't know what that fabric was, and leave it wherever you picked it up, Esteban, because that was just disrespectful.
Yeah.
Then
so this is like a weird painted on
I don't know what that
is. It's definitely not denim. It almost looks like a wool jacket with wool cargo pants. Almost. I do have to say, I've recently been seeing this guy on TikTok who like is reimagining like denim, like the fabric category of denim that's like an interwoven blue and an interwoven white. Yeah. And he's doing this like fingerprint interweaving where it's like not just a crosshatch, it's like different directionalities. And I feel like if Esteban had basically gotten this outfit, but in like that fingerprint denim, I think it could have been a moment. I think
whatever it is you're talking about, I don't see it. All I see is this absolutely hideous outfit. This man is
very
wearing.
Cargo of him, and it is very weather inappropriate. It looks like very hiking of him, and not in like a fun way.
Exactly.
Also, I need Kim Illman. I understand he can't insult the drivers in his captions. More truthful. A stylish pair feels false. His girlfriend always eats. I don't know how you can have a girlfriend who always eats. And
his girlfriend looks like she should be with Lewis if we're going off outfits that day. Just saying.
Anyway,
you know what? I won't say my other one. I'll leave it at that because that was actually very rude to Esteban, which I do not apologize for.
That's valid. That's real.
So mine's a little bit boring.
Oh my God.
What's wrong?
Sorry. I don't know why you're so loud in my ear.
Am I really loud?
You're not
in my ear. No, in my ear she is really loud. I think I just need to turn the thing down.
Say, go adjust your settings.
It surprised me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scream like that.
Okay, so I am going to copy Afsa's lineup. I am choosing Lewis's black sleeveless vest. I think he looks really cute. Only thing is, I don't like the hair. I like the blonde.
Okay,
I like the blonde.
I would be a hypocrite if I disagreed.
Yeah, just sitting there with blonde hair. But I think, for some reason, I think the all black hair, for me, I don't know, I just need something. Even if it was just like a nice light brown, like an auburn color, he needs something to add a little bit depth to his hair.
Knotless mini twists.
Knotless mini twists.
Or even some faux locks again. Actually, no, I didn't like the faux locks, so let me retract that statement. But yeah, like, and then obviously George looking like a mime in training. It's bad. I don't like it. So, but I will say, my honorable what not to wear, what he wore wasn't horrible, but go with me. It's going to be Charles Leclerc. I realized, and I'm looking for, I was like, Charles, like, I was looking at pictures of him, you know, got a lot of pictures taken this weekend, and I was like, oh, he's so attractive, and then I actually saw what he wore, and I was like, you lose a lot with that outfit. Like,
was it, oh, which one was it?
The baggy jeans with the black Ferrari shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, the thing about it is when I see Charles's face, he gives me George, he gives me the like George's style, like posh. I want him to be wearing like, you know, little suit action, not really a suit, but you know.
If you look up Charles Leclerc Pierre Gasly US Open outfit, they both were wearing those like linen Monaco, I'm rich and I live in Monaco suits, and they did look very.
That's what I expected when I see Charles.
You said Wimbledon?
It was either Wimbledon or
US Open.
One of the two.
It was the US Open. But
and then I see him walking around with these baggy pants, this ill-fitting shirt, and I'm just like, and this is not the first time. I've realized this is not the first time. He likes those baggy jeans. They do absolutely nothing. First of all, I need all of these F1 drivers to come to the front. y'all are all short. Stop wearing these baggy jeans. They do nothing for you except make you look very compact, which you don't want to do.
Okay.
Pause. 1 second. Hold that thought. Because you know who else did that this weekend? Lewis. With that pink top and them khaki pants.
I let him slide because he thinks it's adding height. But anyway, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work for any of them. Let me tell you why. The reason I let Lewis slide is because he usually can do it well. He can usually pull off an outfit.
I don't think he did this one that way. Well, go ahead.
Well, you should have mentioned him when it was your turn. Anyway.
You know what? Hush.
What I feel that you two are forgetting is I feel like you all aren't remembering or calling back to the 2012 to 2018 men's skinny jean era.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way these men were cutting up with those jeans, I fear this is the better alternative.
Like Connor on Love Island.
Yes. I don't know if you've seen Max Verstappen.
I have. And
I need to.
No.
I'll take it any day of the week. But for fashion, it was looking bad for a lot of them. A lot of them, I was scared for their quad circulation.
And also too, like in Europe, I'm not gonna lie, in Europe, the skinny jeans were like
they were bad. They were bad.
The Love Island boys.
I was just about to not even season 5. The one person who always comes to mind, I always think of is Tyler. Remember Kaz and Ty? It was his long, tall self wearing those tight white pants. I was like, oh my gosh. It's
fearful and terrifying.
But yeah, even skinny jeans in America were never that tight.
God damn. Sorry, I just saw them.
The Max Verstappen ones or the Kaz and Tyler ones?
Kaz and Tyler. Jesus Christ, these look like leggings.
Yeah,
they
bad.
Were.
These weren't even jeans. These were just plain trousers.
Oh yeah, that's
Viewers, we were just shown a sight. Sorry, that was alarming.
I actually have to look away. They're so.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I mean, I guess sure. I mean, the skinny jean era was really bad, but I also feel like we are sort of in that middle ground place that for some reason it's not catching on. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that I just think Charles overall, his style is at least so much to be desired, just because I feel like he has the poster boy face for posh, rich boy vibe, and he's just not giving it to me, and I really want him to. So that's all she wrote.
Okay, we hear you. Viewers, listeners, because you're not viewers, that's why you can't see this. Felicia found a photo of Max Verstappen's skinny jeans a la 20,
his thighs look thick as shit, though.
That's the thing. That's the one thing I always give Max. When he puts them jeans on, he's winning thigh awards.
Now his face card is declining here, but I said here.
He was a child.
Every kid goes through their ugly phase. It's okay.
He was a child.
Every kid goes through their ugly phase. It's okay.
Critique children on this podcast.
You're correct. Forgive me, Max Verstappen, who will never hear this.
Thank you. We do not critique children on this podcast. Anyway, moving into our F1 news commentary, we got a couple things on the docket today. First things first, because it's Monza related. Ferrari ran a black race suit this weekend.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. With
a little checkered top half and a black bottom half and then yellow stripes. I thought it was great-ish. I think it would have been way sexier in all black with just the yellow, accent, or maybe even just the writing. As per usual, I think that stupid HP logo ruins everything.
Wow.
It's an eyesore, but that's okay. And yeah, I thought it was great. We all know I love to see it. I love
you thought it was great?
No, I didn't think it was great. I would have preferred something darker. I would have preferred a lot of things, actually.
I would have preferred something more black. I would have preferred less yellow piping, lining, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
I don't mind the stupid HP logo now. Like, it's ruined everything, but I'm just kind of like it doesn't bother me as much.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
But I would have, and I didn't like like I would have loved like a full black, kind of giving like a villain-esque type of suit. The checkered pattern threw me off a little bit. Also, it was a little bit different. The top half was a little bit different from the pattern was a little bit different from the bottom. I didn't like that.
On the bottom it was just black, and on the top it was checkered, and I did not appreciate that at all.
Yeah, but then even in the back where the big old HP logo is, it kind of like tapers in, so that like weird design from the bottom goes all the way up to like mid back.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't love.
It's strange.
I
not
did not
the
love,
biggest
I'm
fan.
not gonna cap with you guys. I think it could have been better.
The something other than red was nice. Something different.
No, I like the red. But...
I like their red, but they're trying something new. You know.
Yeah.
This one might have been a miss.
No,
I
it
fear
was
it may
a
have been a
miss.
little.
Okay. Wow. I was trying to give them some type of credit. Cool.
Well, yeah, that was that. As you can tell, we're not enthused by their choices, but that's okay. We don't have to be enthused by every choice they make. All right, next up, Kimmy is officially at Mercedes. Ooh.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew.
Congrats to Kimmy. He had a interesting weekend at Monza this weekend, which we'll get into later. But yeah, congrats, Kimmy. Good luck. Me as a Mercedes hater and a Max fan, Kimmy, I'll be especially rooting for your downfall those first 3 races, where you could beat Max's first win record. And after that, I will only be tangentially rooting on your downfall as a member of the Mercedes team.
Heard.
So,
okay.
wishing you best of luck.
How old is Kimmy right now?
He just turned 18.
18.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so the first 3 races.
The first 3 races, he could beat Max's win record.
Oh, I'm still. Those stupid boys, they ruined it.
Who?
Lewis and Nico. That's the only reason that Max was able to get that
Red Bull seat?
No, not the Red Bull seat.
The win.
He was able to get that record for the youngest driver to win.
What are you talking
they both
about?
crashed out into each other, basically giving Max his first win.
It was pretty cool.
And that's also when they had to start paying for damages because of that.
Damn.
They were whiling. They were whiling.
Sorry, do you know who held the record before Max for the youngest?
I want to say Sebastian Vettel, right?
Okay. I don't know off the top of my head.
I want to say it's Sebastian Vettel.
Okay.
Sebastian was also quite young. He wasn't Max young, but he was decently young.
How old was Max when he won that again? I'm sorry.
18 and change, yes. We'll call it 18 and change. Next up, Valtteri Bottas. We got to talk about him a little bit because apparently he is the favorite for that second seat at Sauber/Audi.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
So we're hoping he gets it, I guess. Although I think it could be fun.
Where's Valtteri right now?
At Sauber.
I thought so. Oh, he hasn't confirmed his contract yet. Okay.
No.
Heard.
They're looking at everybody.
I mean, I think earlier in the season I kind of mentioned I really like Valtteri, but I'm also kind of like I would be okay if he wasn't on the grid just because to make space for someone younger who doesn't have as much experience. Like basically, I would if I had to choose between like a Valtteri or a Zhou Guanyu or who else is young. Even like a Logan, I know he's not an F1 technically anymore, but I think I would prefer if that seat went to someone younger who just maybe needs a little bit more time than Valtteri. Because even though I actually do like Valtteri more than like those other drivers that I've named, I think he's had his opportunity. He's had his chance.
Would you see them? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I said I agree.
I was still waiting for her to finish.
No, I'm done. I think that's pretty much it. I like Valtteri. I would love for him to stay, but I don't want him to stay over younger, up-and-coming talent.
Would you guys see them offering, like, a Mick Schumacher that seat? For the sake of him going to Audi? I'm just saying.
Maybe.
Do you even see that happening, or do you think Mick is solid? Where is Mick right now?
I mean,
where
also
is he
too,
right now?
He's the Mercedes reserve driver, and I think he's also doing WEC, like endurance racing or something like that for Alpine.
Oh.
But like my thing is, it's not like the Sauber can get any worse.
Yeah.
You might as well put Mick in there.
I mean, also,
Mick is the one that's crashed out a couple times, isn't he? Hard.
Yep.
Are we going to talk about Mick?
What about Mick?
In the James Val?
Oh, yes. My next slide is that James Vowles has been a messy bitch in the press for no fucking reason.
God.
So,
I know nothing about this.
Thank you for that segue. So, James Vowles, everybody's previously favorite team principal, who has been on this downward trajectory.
He was just so nice and quiet, and we appreciated it. It was nice to have another messy bitch in the mix.
Exactly. And then he said, hold up, Toto. I know everybody used to call me a Toto clone, and then they started to like me again. They're about to realize I'm a Toto clone for real, because I'm about to be messy as fuck in the press. God. So why does James get into the press? And he says a couple one-liners that I'm like are absolutely ridiculous. He's like, Logan reached his full potential. It would have been cruel to allow him to stay in the seat. Crazy. I think firing a man on Tuesday before a race is cruel, but hey, that's just me. Saying that somebody has reached their full potential in your dog shit car is insane. Insanity. So first he says that, right? Then when people ask him, hey, why, like after he pulls in the new guy, Colapinto. Have we recorded since that happened? We have not recorded since that happened. No. Extra piece of news, Franco Colapinto got pulled in to replace Logan Sargent.
Also, sorry, where did this kid come from?
F2.
I had never heard his name before.
F2.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's actually been a lot because we recorded on Monday, and then everything kind of went down Tuesday.
So I honestly forgot because it's been old news for us. But yes, Logan Sargent got yeeted out on a Tuesday, but from Franco Colapinto. So
the fact that they changed the name and the face, and the commentators were like, "Yep, Colapinto," because Sargent's out. I said, "Wow," just like that.
Yeah, but when asked why he didn't pull Mick Schumacher, because Mick Schumacher's been in F1 before, it's only going to be not even half a year of races. Why would you pull somebody up out of F2 instead of just pulling in like a reliable previous F1 driver? He says, God. It's not like Mick is special.
He said, what now?
He was like, well, Mick's not special. And I was like, hold up.
Wait. Where did James Vowles dig up all this audacity? Because this is just disrespectful.
For real. Why'd you have to say that? Why did you have to say that? One, this is F1, okay? Insulting a Schumacher in the press, insane. Leave that for Twitter, baby. That's where you insult the Schumachers, is on Twitter. You do not insult a Schumacher in the press. That's just insane. In the F1 paddock, absolutely insane, right? First thing that's insane. Insulting him during Monza race weekend, the child of Michael Schumacher, also insane.
Wait, why is that particularly?
Yeah, absolutely insane, right? But then to basically go like, oh well, Mick isn't special, so girl, you couldn't have said, oh, because we wanted to give junior talent an opportunity to develop. Oh, like it just wasn't the right time, right situation to bring Mick in. Like, oh, there was some like
anything.
Have we heard of lying before? Like,
it didn't even require just having some tact.
A little bit of couth.
A little bit of couth, not even much. Nobody's asking to have.
Just sprinkle it on top.
No one's asking for you to just even go out there and lie. Just have some common decency and courtesy when speaking about these drivers. Also, too, because you may not want them, but they're still trying to look for a job. They're trying to look for a seat.
Yeah.
And you're out there saying, he's nothing special. Why would we want
just insulting them?
Yeah. Oh, Logan's
mind you, full
potential. Well, sorry, you are not the
end all be all
author and the
potential
of their story of their career. You don't get to dictate when they start, when they end. Oh no, he's done. He's reached his full potential.
But also, my thing is, Like, if you're gonna have this much to say, at least have a car to back it up. Like, your cars are not good. So what are you, like, you're talking about someone reach their full potential. Your car is crap. How can they reach their full potential with a crap car?
Preach to it.
Talk about not special. It. Who's able to be special in a crap car?
Talk about it.
You could take Max Verstappen, put him in that Williams, and it'd probably be about the same result.
Not quite,
because it's a crap car. Maybe not Logan's result, because that's a little woo. But you get what I'm saying, though. Like, it's still going to be a crap car.
Yeah, the car is dog shit, and pretending like the car isn't dog shit is not helping anybody.
And you're out here puffing your chest like you have something to say.
Yeah, nobody's benefited by lying to ourselves. So, like, let's just not do that. But yeah, so James was being a messy bitch. He ended up walking it back and apologizing, saying that when he said not special, he meant that he wasn't a, like, what's the words that he used? He meant that he wasn't an Ayrton Senna style driver. And it's like, cool, nobody is.
Like, what? Okay, when did that become the barometer?
In for fucking 6 races.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you meant what you said. Now, I did see an F1 gossip page say that Mick Schumacher's mama was laying into James Vowles at the paddock.
As she should. As she should.
True because,
not as she should, but anyway.
I'm sorry. You speak about somebody's child.
No. She didn't speak about someone's child. She spoke about a grown man. He spoke about a grown man. Like, I understand there's a difference.
Child.
No, but I understand. Like, first of all, I'm not even agreeing with what he said, but I'm also at the same point, like, why are you in this? That's conversation.
Well, no, especially when your family is intermixed in the business.
No.
I'm just saying because okay.
Like,
fine.
I understand if she wants me to be all, do little Twitter fingers and speak up, sure, but like to be actually person to person in faith. Like,
hold up, no, I just want to be clear. This was a rumor, so I don't know if his mommy actually did this. Okay. I want that to be clear. Rumor. It was a rumor on the F1 gossip page. So I cannot confirm.
If it's true, I just think it's a little bit too much. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, and in my opinion, the most important piece of news I'm delivering to you today, because maybe you could book some travel plans. The F1 Arcade.
I did see that.
Is opening up in DC's Union Market on October 13th.
I'm going to be there. Oh, wait. What is that? What day is that?
October 13th is a Sunday.
It's a Sunday?
Yeah.
Why are you going to be there?
I'm going up. Anyway, I'm going up
there.
Oh,
sorry.
To go to New York. No. I'm going to New York.
New York.
But I'm going to be in DC. I'm taking a trip. Felicia, we've had this discussion. I don't know why you're looking at me. Because you were asked this first before I accepted.
Accepted? What?
Felicia, you don't have to yell. What's wrong with you? Have some common courtesy.
No.
Anyway, I'm sure I'll get filled in offline. But keep on the travel plans.
But yeah, I'm leaving at like 7 o'clock in the morning on the 13th.
Lame.
We'll talk about it later.
Well, fun fact for my Texans who did not get tickets. But Coda is October 20th.
Coda?
Someone's birthday.
So if you...
Felicia's.
I'm not born in September.
Oh
I'm born in October.
Oh my god. You serve such Libra energy that I thought you...
I am a Libra, but I'm an October Libra.
Okay, bye B.
What are you talking about?
Bye B. No.
What are you talking about?
Your face as you're trying to figure it out whose birthday.
I may have to leave the podcast, viewers. It is all gone left. Anyway, so the Austin Grand Prix.
Why am I still confused? Because what the fuck just happened?
I'm so sorry. The Austin Grand Prix is on Felicia's birthday, our special day.
Is it?
Yeah, it's October 20th.
My birthday's October 20th, you asshole.
Yeah, the race is all on October 20th.
Oh, I thought you said September 20th.
No, October 20th. We've cleared it up now. We've cleared it all up.
Between her not knowing your birthday and you not understanding simple English,
Rockflow.
Cleared it all up. The race in Texas, the race
Yes.
in the city of Austin, Texas, is
Yeah.
on October the 10th month of the calendar year,
Yes.
20th, a Sunday.
I'm going to be out of the country.
It's a good thing I didn't get tickets because I really wanted. I was actually looking to get tickets for myself.
Y'all should go, though. Y'all two should go.
She's
Girl,
not
I'm
gonna
going
come
to
down here.
I'm not going to Austin. I'm so sorry.
Why?
I fly to Texas when people pay me to fly to Texas. That's somehow. Sorry. Anyway, I will be at the F1 arcade having a fun little time with
Yeah,
my
I'm sure
other
you
F1
will.
homies. And it'll also
I'm
be
sure
like
you
an
will.
actual good time to day drink instead of me trying to like enjoy the F1 arcade at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, no.
I'm curious what they're gonna do for like morning and like middle of the night races. Like I'm curious
mean?
what they're gonna do. Like
Fuck
Oh, what
Vegas.
the arcade was going to do?
Yeah, like
Vegas.
Las Vegas works, right? Because it's a Saturday into a Sunday at like midnight, right? That's
Midnight.
like prime
Perfect.
time for them, right? But like
Singapore.
Japan, exactly, thank you. Singapore. Fuck we doing for Singapore? Are we
Not
going to
anybody's arcade.
What time is Singapore usually? Is Singapore the one that's like 3, 4 a.m.?
That's Japan.
Okay.
Singapore's like at 6.
But even
Okay.
even for example, Azerbaijan is at 7 a.m. If the arcade was open, are you guys opening for Azerbaijan, or are you just only open for the races that are in the afternoon? Which, if you're an F1 arcade,
And even
that's
that-
like 5 races. a year.
How
Or do they
That-
just have regular open closing hours?
They have to have like
No, but if you're F1 based, then you have to be
you have
I'm
to be
just
opening
thinking
at the timings of the races.
of
That would
the
just be ridiculous.
races. What's the point? Like that'd be a great place for someone to come watch a race. But I'm also like, I'm not getting up out of my bed to go to an arcade at 7 to watch a race 7 a.m.
Girl, I can
or
hop
6
on
a.m.
Girl, this is in Union Market on the Red Line. I can walk 5 minutes, hop on the Red Line, take a quick nap, and wake up at the F1 arcade.
Babe, at 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, she would do it. I'm just
I
talking
know
about like
she would.
I'm just thinking about like longevity of a business. Like,
Yes.
how many
Well,
people
the
are they
thing is,
drawing in?
The one in Boston is already open.
And how
So
they
I, so I kind of want to. Okay, this is what's annoying me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, every day they open at 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm looking it up right
How
now.
many of the races start after 11 a.m. EST?
Well, is there
Just
their
the American
goal,
and the Canadian one, right?
is their goal to have people come in to watch the races, or is it just to have an arcade that's F1 themed?
I think it's mostly to have an arcade that's F1 themed,
Yeah.
plus be an F1 sports bar. And so I guess that like for the American and Canadian races, it would work well. But,
So
like,
I just actually looked up the one in Boston, and I was like, I just clicked on watch parties, and they actually have a watch party for Baku.
oh, they're
at-
opening early.
They are opening at 6 a.m.
Okay.
Damn.
I would say so.
They
Maybe the new. Oh wait, hold up. I see it now. They're going to do every single race live, and do
And you
watch
just-
parties.
Yeah, and you buy
Okay.
the watch party tickets are $20. Doors open at 6. Race starts at 7, and then open sim racing from 6 to 9 a.m.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let me.
So
see.
are they
have,
only
like-
doing the race, or are they going to do quali as well?
I'm sure it's
I'm
just
sure
going
it's
to be the
just
race.
Okay.
Layman. I don't think layman like.
Yeah,
Watch quali like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, this actually, I would like to go to an arcade, go to the arcade and see what it's like, at least for 1 or 2 races. Like I think
They're
like
opening
going
up one in Philly as well.
Ooh. Aw. Of course they will
I-
open it in Philly when I'm not living in Philly.
I think let me see. I don't. Maybe it's just for me. Like I don't know a lot of F1 fans. Like I think the F1 fans that I know are right here. So I think this would be like a cool experience just to go watch, talk about F1, in a fun group setting.
I
Yeah,
would say
so-
Boyf's best friend is a lifelong Ferrari fan.
Who's?
Marty's best
boy.
friend is a lifelong Ferrari fan because he's Italian.
Oh, well, look at that.
Because he's Italian.
Lucky.
So I'm
Lucky
trying.
that he's Italian?
No, lucky that she.
I have friends who are fans. I also have a bunch of coworkers who are fans.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. Although one of my coworkers is a McLaren fan, so you know.
Oh, but this sucks. They don't open the bar until 10 a.m. So
they don't want to make money.
The race is done.
Nobody wants to work anymore. Kim K,
they do have
they
do have brunch opening. I guess they like 7 a.m. No, y'all's liver need a break.
They do not want to make money.
Well, they don't want to deal with a bunch of hammered F1 fans at like 9 a.m.
And to that I say, you don't want to make money.
But I think that's stupid because like the race starts at 7.
Yeah.
So we're gonna watch the race.
That means the race is ending like 8:30ish.
Yeah, 9 if there's a red flag.
I'm not sticking around for an hour and a half just to drink. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going home.
Yeah, like I'll watch them and I'll watch some interviews.
I'll go make a mimosa at home.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think. Yeah, sure. Like if you're going to have a 6 a.m. race, I don't think you're necessarily opening the bar at 6 a.m.
This is a brunch city. I'm gonna watch the race and then go somewhere else in Union Market for brunch.
I mean, the least they could do is do it at 9 rather than 10. I think 9 would be...
That'd be more reasonable.
And then maybe close early that day, whatever the case may be.
One thing I'm just kind of looking at it. I think there's a lot of... they do have one in Vegas. They're
opening one in Vegas, yeah.
That's perfect, actually.
They're probably eventually going to open one in Texas, but they've been slowly rolling them out in the U.S.
I don't know. I feel like Texas is not the best place.
Why?
I don't think F1 has that strong of a following in Texas. Even in like an Austin.
Really?
Unless they're doing like the arcade next, like in the Coda area, I don't see it doing that well.
Oh.
You know, Texas is
Coda's
definitely
the track.
Oh, God. Okay. How about we just move on to the next topic?
How about we move on? So we're done talking about this F1 arcade. We're done talking about that. Instead, we're going to talk about the 2024 Formula One Italian Grand Prix, hosted at the Autodrome Nacional Monza. This track was first opened in 1950. It runs for 53 laps at a length of 5.793 kilometers. And this is actually a TBT. The lap record was set by Rubens Barrichello in 2004 at a 121.046. So that's crazy. I don't know what team he's driving for. Can't say I care. Sorry, Rubens. I just don't particularly care at this moment. Moving on, we have some pre-quali items. So first, during the safety car test, the safety car before every race goes around. He does a little hot lap, gets funky and cool. It crashed.
Yep,
it crashed at the parabolic.
Sure did.
So we already knew that the track was going to be hella green. How would that affect things? We would see. Also, in FP1, Kimi drove George's car. This was right before he was announced as a Mercedes driver for next year. I imagine this is part of like the Young Drivers program where you have to have 2 rookies drive your car in FP1. And once again, in the theme of crashes, Kimi crashed George's car, I believe at Parabolica as well.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of funny memes on Twitter of George seeing his car get crashed and then walking away from the mother. And that was really funny. But before he crashed his car, Kimi, I think, was setting the fastest sectors.
He did.
So he was zooming. He was doing really good. So shout out him. I hope he does well after the third race.
I have a question though.
Always, yeah.
Oh Lord.
Why would Mercedes want to test their new driver on the fastest track of the year?
Why they did that? Unsure. I think he's like really Italian, right? Like Kimi Antonelli's really Italian. Like if you listen to him talk. So maybe they just wanted to pick a race that was like a little bit of like a home crowd vibe
race
for him.
But
maybe.
It's also they had just resurfaced it, which means they didn't, even in their simulators, they don't know what it's going to feel like, right?
You generally know what it's going to feel like, but it's just like you know that you'll have less grip. How much less grip? Questionable. But
And then they also had changed the curves too, right?
they did change the curves.
They changed the whole track.
Well, that doesn't matter to him.
To who? Kimmy?
Yeah.
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 Well, my only question, I guess, really was why would they test him at the fastest track, especially with it being so new? Maybe that's just me.
I'm about to say I don't know the rhyme and reason for when they choose rookies to do their FP1, like their mandatory FP1 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
But I think normally they do them at like a home track-esque vibe.
Got you.
All the ones that I can recently recall, they did them at tracks that were like related to them in some fashion or something like that. So
then the crowd's all happy for them. Okay, yeah.
That's my understanding.
It makes sense.
Who knows? And also notably, which may come up again next week, because it appears that Red Bull and Ferrari are finally back on their fucking grind. They're finally back to work. Mercedes and McLaren have a weird wing this weekend that appears under slow motion video to flex. Flexible wings in F1 are illegal.
Oh.
So, Ferrari and Red Bull supposedly may be reporting this to the FIA to see if something can be done about this whole flexi wing situation. So we'll see if anything comes of that.
So it was Mercedes and McLaren?
Yes.
Okay.
McLaren had like a really dramatic wing change. I don't know how dramatic for Mercedes was this weekend, but like the McLaren wing, you could see it like a piece was cut out of it. And so it was like a flexi wing. I don't know what the penalty for this would be. Because sometimes they do like a behind the table thing where they just change a technical directive and then a team reappears with like a different wing. And other times they like outright penalize them for cheating. I think it depends on if this is like technically correct but results in a flexi wing, or if this is like, no, literally that you just made a flexi wing.
Do you know why flexi wings are not allowed?
It's changeable aerodynamics. It's like, which is not in the regulations.
Heard.
Now I do have to say, I love Oscar. I love Lewis. If the outcome of this is McLaren being stripped of some racing points for as long as they have that win, I'm fine with that. That will be okay by me. I think it's a worthy punishment for the crime of breaking the technical regulations.
Okay.
Nobody come at me.
Dock them points.
Nobody come at me.
Even Mercedes?
Listen, it's okay. That's fine.
Damn.
That's fine. It's not like Lewis got like
see
a
where
win
your
this race.
allegiance lies.
It's not like Lewis got to win this race. It would just be one race's worth of points for Lewis.
Okay.
It'll only be like 5 points. Not really. It'll be more than that, but you know what I mean. To him, it's 5 points.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, let's now get ourselves into qualifying. Not much happened. I watched Folly highlights before recording this to make sure. They skipped all of Q2. They went right to the last 30 seconds of Q2. And I was like, oh, so really nothing happened in Q2. Because y'all went straight from telling me who got knocked out of Q1 to, it's the last 30 seconds of Q2. So clearly you guys agree with me. We'll just go through who got knocked out and some notable moments. Notable moments from Q1. Our man Yuki was not having a good time. It was not living for
poor
him.
Yuki. He had a really crappy weekend.
He did.
And then also the newbie, Colapinto, almost yeeted himself into the wall. So that added a little bit of excitement to the moment.
I missed that. When did that happen?
It was like right at the beginning. He like graveled himself. It was fine. But he made it out. But like if he had lost it even a little bit more, he would have been beached in the gravel.
Jeez.
So knocked out in Q1, Yuki, Lance Stroll, that new guy, and the Saubers. I believe this is like some sort of like long stint for the Saubers, qualifying P19 and P20, like on track, not like after penalties and stuff. So hate that for them. As previously stated, nothing happened in Q2. So knocked out was Alonso, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Gasly, and Ocon. And then we get to Q3. I do want to inform you guys, because I don't know if you saw it, but they made a pole position ring. Like, you know how normally you get the pole position trophy that's like a tire? They made a pole position ring for Monza. It was like gold and red and very gaudy, very beautiful. Something that Charles or Lewis would pick out for themselves that we would like maybe critique on our what not to wear.
Like
but
a
it's
ring?
like very,
Yeah.
Like a ring?
yeah,
Okay.
like a ring. It was very, but like something that'll be very them, right? Very severe. So imagine my sadness when it's Lando Norris who picks up that fucking ring. Look good on him. It's a tragedy. He couldn't even stunt with the ring. Like Lewis would have stunted with the ring. Charles would have flashed the ring on the podium. And it had to be him.
That's a lovely ring.
It had to be Norris who got the ring.
Lando got this?
He got pole.
Oh, they engraved his name on it. Ugh.
Yeah, so tragic. But Lando got pole. Max and Checo did not do well. I think they qualified, I want to say like 7th and 8th. Lewis did not qualify well either, but we ended up with Lando in 1st, Oscar in 2nd, I believe George in 3rd, Charles in 4th.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Carlos in 5th.
Yeah,
and then
Carlos.
The baddies
Lewis.
trickled down as they did. So it was not looking great for my people. It was not looking great for my people. And Monza, statistically, is the track, even more than Monaco, where you low-key want to start on pole. So you can imagine my disappointment going in to the race.
Wait, even more than Monaco?
Yeah, apparently statistically, it's even more severe than Monaco.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what they were saying on the commentary. That's what they said on the fucking commentary. Bro.
No. I did.
That's what they said on the commentary. I will fact check myself later. If that turns out to be false, I will hop in at this point on the podcast to let you know, listeners, but blame it on the F1 TV commentary.
And that's what they said. I just disagree with them highly.
Oh, they're saying like statistically.
Yeah.
Like out of all the winners, how many of them have been on pole? It's more.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
That's what they're saying. I would like to note that after qualifying, there was a lot of chatter about the fact that because Lando is so great and a world championship contender and British and everything, that this was going to be a 19-point swing in Lando's favor and basically close up the gap to Max and really put him as a true championship rival.
Yep.
That everybody who said that on Twitter, to everybody who said that on F1 TV commentary, get fucked. Get fucked. Because y'all don't have the power of sight that apparently every other random bitch on Twitter has, including me. Because you want to know, and I was talking about this with Dex before we recorded, I have 2 lines in my race commentary that I never delete because they almost always come true. And it would be a waste of time to never delete them. Except this week, I added a special little addition to one of those lines. My main line that has never been deleted since Miami. Norris the bottler once again bottled. Except this time, I put in parentheses, Oscar Piastri edition. Because Oscar cleaned that bitch's clock. It was crazy. I jumped up out of my seat. I was like, ooh. For those who maybe didn't get to see the beginning of the race, Lando actually got a great start off the line. I was gagged.
The commentators were like, McLaren finally has the start from Lando that they needed.
Everybody was very gagged that he got a great start off the line. However, Oscar and George also got great starts off the line. Okay. Oscar, he goes out to the side, make sure that George can't get past him and Lando. And then Oscar goes, if you don't see the gap and take it, you're not a racing driver. And he takes that eensy-weensy gap around the chicane and gets past Lando. And I want to say that's the end of Lando winning the race, except it's not for reasons I will point out later. But for all intents and purposes, once that happened, it was OVH for little boy. He still has a 0% pull to leading the first lap conversion.
I know.
Oh my God.
That's so embarrassing.
Really embarrassing. It's really embarrassing at this point.
Especially because doesn't he have how many pulls has he had? 7?
Never converted any of them to leading the first lap.
That's crazy.
Insane.
How many races have we had?
So he's had polls before this year, but
no. But what I'm saying is this year, the 7 polls he's had,
I think
has led to 1
or
win.
4 of them. He's led to 1 win, and he did not lead like the majority of the race from that.
He came back.
Yeah, he had to come back.
But what I'm saying is, how many races have we had in this season so
16.
far?
There you go.
So 7 of them. 7 out of 16.
Some of his polls were before this year. I will give him that.
Oh.
Some of his polls were before this year. I think he has 3 or 4 polls.
I was like, because when I kept seeing the number, I was like, he hasn't had that many, but I was like, maybe I missed it. Okay, her. Never mind.
But yes. So we also need to talk about the race commentary, the reactions, all of it to Oscar passing Lando at that little point of the show. My commentary is that you bitches don't like watching cars race. That's my commentary. Is y'all actually don't like cars, not you two. The royal y'all. Y'all don't like watching car racing. Okay? Just say that you like watching Lando. And that's okay. That is fine. That is so okay. Y'all don't like watching car racing. Y'all are sitting here calling Oscar anything but a child of God. He's a bad teammate. He's a terrorist on the track. He squeezed Lando off. He ruined Lando's championship hopes. All this stuff. Instead of just saying, Lando couldn't block Oscar. Because that's what happened. He couldn't block him. And listen, I think a lot of people couldn't have blocked Oscar. That was a brilliant, beautiful move. You know, I'm not saying it's a Lando skill issue to not be able to block an Oscar necessarily. But it's not like Oscar did anything crazy. Everybody's sitting here and be like, I thought they were going to be good teammates, blah, blah. It's like, before the race, Lando literally said, no, I want to race him. He raced him, and he lost.
Yeah. So...
Yes, Max.
Let's continue, and then I'll get into my whole Oscar and Lando take.
I do want to acknowledge that the commentators spent at least 60% of the race commentary telling us how stupid McLaren was for not initiating team orders.
Yeah.
And they are, point-wise, correct, right? Obviously, a gifted win for Lando and then second place for Oscar is more points than Oscar in second and Lando in third. Obviously. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they were being so, over-insistent. Like, we heard it once. We do not need to hear every other sentence that you feel like McLaren should swap the two of them. We get it.
They were saying it down to the last, I want to say, 3 laps.
And then,
is McLaren going to switch them? I was like, no, they're not going to switch them.
Like, no, because guess what? Throughout the entire race, Lando could never catch up to him to be able to switch.
And what did Lando say the other race? Catch up.
Catch up if you want me to switch.
So how about that, Lando? Catch up.
Oscar actually had a better gap to Lando when he was supposed to switch than Lando had at some points this race when the commentary was like, are they going to switch? Are they going to switch? No, because Lando, for some reason, is 6 seconds behind Oscar. Somehow they're not going to switch. That doesn't make any sense. So the amount of commentary on it, insane. Will Buxton's post-race meltdown about it, absolutely insane. The man went off the rails. Felicia, I beg of you to go watch it. He went absolutely insane.
Think that Lando's paying him.
Well, he's British, so he might as well be.
Oh, well, still, but it's giving a little bit of dick riding. Actually, a lot of dick riding.
It's giving a lot of dick glazing. It's giving dick sucking world champion. It's giving you upped it to 250 from that lady whose record was 249. That's what it's giving me personally. A lot of glazing. It's a lot.
He's doing a lot. And here's the thing. My own take is that I think McLaren is doing, and it's more so on my issues with McLaren, not necessarily with the Lando or Oscar. I think McLaren, if McLaren really wants Lando to win, team orders, put it in place from get-go. Oscar, you've gotten your win. We're all happy. Woo, woo, woo. Now we have to play team racing now. And I think for me, that's what I would do if I was team principal at McLaren. Me personally, as someone who wants to give my driver the best chance of winning the championship, I would say team orders. Lando's if there's ever an opportunity to switch to get Lando to get more points or whatever, that's what we have to do. Basically, Oscar, you have to be the Valtteri to lose.
Team player, yeah.
You know? But I also feel like if McLaren isn't doing that, then I don't really think that anyone else should expect the drivers to do that. You know? If McLaren isn't saying, if McLaren if that's not their strategy from the jump, then
That's not their
I
strategy.
don't think that that should be even a concern during the race for then everyone to start bringing up and, you know, keep just hammering in and on and on and on. It just gets...
Literally.
It gets annoying. It gets just... It's just annoying, I think, for me.
I feel like there's also this misconception that teams, like the bosses of the team, care about drivers' championships the way that the public and fans care about drivers' championships and the way the drivers care about drivers' championships. They care about drivers' championships as a mathematical function of how constructors' championships work.
Yeah.
They care about drivers' championships because you add up your drivers' points to get your constructors' points, right? I would bet my bottom dollar that the top people at McLaren do not care what order Oscar and Lando finish in. I do not think there was a top-down initiative that Lando is on a championship push and he needs to win it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. First and foremost, the gap between Max and Lando is bigger than the gap between Oscar and Lando. It is just as conceivable that Oscar could pass Lando and get second in the championship as it is that Lando could pass Max, right? It's just as conceivable that Charles Leclerc could pass Lando's ass and get second because Charles is only 20 points behind him. Fucking Lando gets a DNF and Charles wins next race. Lando's now in third place in the championship.
Let's see.
It doesn't make any sense for us to be acting like he's 10 points off of Max's ass. Like, please, let's be for real. But then also, like, it does not make any sense as the long-term McLaren. You have a driver who, at this point, Lando's been at McLaren for 6 years.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You have a driver who's been there for 6 years and is still inconsistent, still not good at the whole, like, being a well-rounded driver thing. You still have driver issues. You have an amazing up-and-coming driver who clearly has the balls for it. He's a media darling. Nobody really dislikes him because he shuts the fuck up. He makes you money. He is consistent. All you have to fix is tire management. That's the only thing you got on that man. If I'm the big bosses, I'm going, why would I purposely sideline good talent and force him running into another team's arms when I could just not do that and my life will probably not change that much. Not much changes for McLaren if Max wins this championship and then they win the constructors. Actually, a lot does change, which is they get millions more dollars than trying to fuck around and then potentially fuck it up and get second place in constructors. Red Bull got $140 million for first place last year. Damn. Why the fuck does McLaren care about having to pay Lando more next year because he's a world champion? If anything, let's keep the budget down. He ain't making that man a world champion. We got money to save around. Okay?
Not the budget.
This whole argument is ridiculous to me because it presumes that, like, Zach Brown is sitting up at night thinking about how to make Lando the next world champion independent of McLaren's success. And I'm like, no. Overarching McLaren success is what I think is actually important to those people. Like, I think they're worried about a good car. I think they're worried about sales of their road car. I think they're worried about the Constructors' Championship. I don't think they're sitting around up at night losing sleep over making sure that Lando can catch up to Max. The way that
I would say their reaction after the race kind of shows that.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. It's asinine. I do not understand the big hubbubaloo. I don't understand the Oscar hate. Like, at the end of the day, they are, quote-unquote, both number one drivers. We both know that's a lie. That's not physically possible. But if they're, quote-unquote, both number one drivers, Oscar was in every right to pass him. Yep. And you need to take that up with Zach Brown and Andrea Stella. Although I do see people taking it up with Zach Brown and Andrea Stella on Twitter. And specifically Andrea Stella. Andrea Stella is the only reason y'all have a car to even be beefing over right now.
Well.
So if y'all leave that man alone and let him make you another good car instead of bitching and moaning at him that he gave you a good car, so now you feel like Lando should be handed every single win. Like, please. Also, and I'll stop about Lando after this, maybe if your driver has to be gifted every win to win the championship, he shouldn't win the championship.
Well,
a gifted win here or there, it happens. Y'all are saying that they should gift Lando the entire rest of the season so he could win. Like, do you not believe in your own dude? Like,
clearly not.
Clearly not. Because when Red Bull gives Max team orders, half the time I'm like, You shouldn't have done that. You should have just let him pass Checo on merit. Because he would have done it. I'm not sitting up at night going, if they don't give him the team order, he's never going to get past Checo. Duh, he's going to get past Checo. The same way
My
Lewis was
other issue,
like it all worked out.
My other issue with this whole Lando Oscar thing is that all of Oscar's achievements are like buried under the bullshit that is Lando.
Yes.
And I'm like, Oscar doesn't even get the chance to be happy about doing better than Lando because everyone's suddenly questioning why he did better than Lando. It happened with his win. It happened this weekend. Like, it's not even just McLaren that wants Lando to win. It's the commentators, other people on socials and whatnot. And it's just like, why? Is there actual merit to why they want Lando to win over Oscar? No.
Nope.
And he's shown that weekend after weekend after weekend that, okay, yeah, he has a little rocket ship of a car so it can, you know, slip him by people. And of course, yes, he can drive. But just because Oscar does better than him doesn't mean that you get to stomp around and pout and look like a petulant child and make this guy feel like crap for doing better than you. You simply didn't make it.
We're going to get into Lando's actions post-race at the end of this podcast because it was ridiculous.
That post-race interview.
It was ridiculous. Post-race interview, podium, and cool-down room. Just ridiculous.
Okay.
Trifecta.
All right. So the second thing I want to talk about for the race today is actually the second line that I always leave in my show notes. Which is whoever tweeted that George will start on pole and Lewis will start P10 and they'll end up in the same place, you are a prophet.
Jesus.
It was not a good race for our boy Georgie. It was a pretty good race for our boy Lewis, all things considered. George, I believe, suffered a small amount of damage from that opening lap situation with Lando and Oscar, where his front wing end plate was off, so obviously his aero was impacting his race. But I do have to say, it is a little bit comical every weekend watching everybody yap about George out-qualifying Lewis and then watching them end in the same position, if not flip-flopped.
Where did they end this week?
Lewis ended 5 and George ended 7th, right? Something like that.
Jesus.
So
he lost 4 places.
Not been good for homeboy. He's really gone through.
I don't know. I think you mentioned it last week. About the whole statement about they'll end up in the same place. I was thinking about that during the race. I was like, oh my god, like George and have. I think the thing with the thing with George is that George, you cannot tell George that he ain't like the shit, you know.
Oh yeah,
and then and his qualifying, he's doing pretty well in qualifying. I will give him that. Week in and week out, he does pretty well in qualifying. But when it comes to the race, when it actually counts,
his race pace actually has me a bit curious. Like I'm curious what the differential is. And why it is always that situation.
It's fascinating. I will say it is very fascinating. What's going on? I don't know. Maybe it's just sort of like when things come down to the wire and they really count. Like certain drivers can just can pull it out, like Lewis. You know.
Question: does George do better in sprint races?
You know what? I actually haven't thought about that one.
Because quali is basically like mini sprint races.
Yeah, you do have less like strategy implications and like consistency in your lap implications. So maybe he also has the same tire management issue, although I don't feel like George has had a tire management issue.
The only time I've seen George with bad tires was his disqualified race.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to look into that one. I genuinely don't know.
Just curious. Just tossing it out there. Wow, Bex.
I'll go with the rich girl.
Bex, what are you doing?
Listeners, I'm sorry that we have some craziness going on today. It's 10:30 my time, so I think we're
Yeah.
already off the deep end.
No, I was just something came up to my mind. You know when things like your song pops up? Yeah.
It's
If
called,
I was a rich girl.
Yes, facts.
It's a bop. Love it. Anyway, we can now get into some of our back markers before we start to talk about the end of the race.
Okay.
Kevin Magnussen and Daniel Ricciardo.
Ooh la
Going
la.
through it. So Daniel gets a penalty. Kevin Magnussen gets a penalty. Both for hitting other drivers. Daniel goes into the pits, and the front guy touches the car. And so they did not serve it properly because it's no hands on the car until the 5 seconds, which I think was sucked for them. I do have to say, I was very shocked, actually, because everybody realized that the guy, everybody at the pit crew saw him touch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, mathematically, you should take the L and then start the pit stop as soon as you realize that happened.
Yeah.
Like, if you already are going to get the 10 seconds, you might as well not waste an additional 4 seconds trying to serve it.
So you gave yourself
properly.
a 20-second penalty.
Yeah, like, you actually gave yourself a way longer penalty because you tried to, like, fake serve it just in case they didn't see it. And it's like, there are HD cameras on every single inch
Everywhere.
They 10 toes down saw it. Just don't serve it properly and then take the L.
Yeah.
So I thought that was crazy. And then Kevin Magnussen hit Pierre Gasly. As you may
did.
know, and as we've talked about before, Kevin was already on thin ice. And these 2 extra penalty points took our boy out. So he has a race ban for Baku. He is not racing for Haas. We don't know
Ralph strikes again.
We do not know who is racing in Baku. What I do have to say is I'm excited to see the rest of the year post Baku, because after you get a race ban, your penalty points reset, baby. And I'm excited to see Kevin Magnussen with 0
K-Mag is going to be a demon again.
Also, oh, sorry, what are you going to say?
No, you go ahead. No,
also,
please.
Checo's penalty points reset, I believe, after Baku as well. And I'm excited because...
Wait, why do they... Wait.
So they reset every 12 months. So, if you acquire penalty points in February, they will reset next February.
Heard.
So, I'm excited to see, because I personally think that some of the lack of Red Bull's terroristic actions to keep Max's championship is that it would get Checo a race ban if he did anything. Once they reset, I mean, unless the man racks up 4 penalty points in one race, he could get 1 penalty points every single race for the rest of the year.
Jesus.
And then he just have to be on his P's and Q's all next year. So, like, me, myself, and I, if I'm old horny and I'm helmet, I'm letting Checo know.
Did you just call that man old horny?
I did. For a reason. If
I think it fits.
Thank you. Thank you, Bex. Thank you. If I'm them, I'm whispering in Checo's ear, hey, every race where you delay Lando Norris by at least 5 seconds, it's a $50,000 bonus.
Just for that race.
Just for that race. $50,000 bonus. $100,000 bonus if you crash that motherfucker out and make it look like an accident.
Okay.
That's just me, though. That's just me.
You want him to pull a Valtteri and take out half the grid?
Yes, pull a Valtteri. Hell, let's get real Alonso with it and actually collude. We might as well at this point. Let's get this shit interesting again. Let's get this shit live again. I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
All right. On to the end of the race. So we have some mixy stuff happening in the middle of the race. Oscar Piastri is leading. He pits, so a couple other people get to lead for a little bit, and then he takes back the lead. Lando's behind him this whole time, not catching up. I think you maybe got into Oscar's DRS once or twice. He's not catching up, right? Then, and mind you, Oscar's doing a great job. He's holding off Lando. He's holding off everybody else. He's being very consistent. We love it. Oscar, you are doing great, sweetie. But once again, surprisingly, actually, because the McLarens have been so good on their tires this year, I was actually very shocked when they did this. But they first pit Lando, and they're like, oh, it's to like cover Charles, it's to this, it's to that, right? And so you're thinking, they're gonna pit Lando, fuck Oscar, and then da-da-da-da. Come to my shock and surprise, and I knew, of course, at this point, all the commentators are saying, oh, they're going to leave Oscar out longer, da-da-da-da. They do not do that. They pit Oscar and let him have a 2-second advantage, basically, over Lando. So, of course, the commentators go absolutely fucking insane, sitting here being like, there's no reason to pit him like that. There was no reason to pit him at that time. They didn't get any advantage. They've just let Ferrari take it. And I'm like, guys, McLaren pit him at that time to avoid the Lando-Oscar situation. That's the whole reason, baby. If they had left him out longer, they would have been closer, or Lando probably would have undercut him. That's the entire reason they did it. Because, yes, there was no logical reason to do it at that time, because you basically sent them back to neutral. You didn't get any benefit out of it.
Yeah.
But the benefit they did get out of it was not having to deal with the Oscar and Lando.
Not to hear y'all's mouth.
Literally.
Yep.
You've seen Red Bull do before, where they're like, we don't want to deal with Max and fucking Checo beefing out over who should be ahead on the track. We're just going to pit Checo. We're just going to pit him. We're not talking about this. They did the same thing. They picked them both a couple laps after each other to maintain their gap because they didn't want to deal with it. And they knew who they were okay with winning. The guy who's faster. Of course, Oscar pitting then leaves Charles Leclerc in the lead.
Wow.
And Charles Leclerc at that point was on a one-stop, borderline impossible strategy. And he pulled it off like
His tires were...
It was insane. I want to pull up a stat for you. And by pull up, I mean tell you the stat. After he switched tires, so from lap 18, Charles Leclerc had one lap in the 124s. Every other lap, the entire rest of the race, he consistently had in the 123s. Every single lap. No tire dead.
Great racing by him.
For sure. Completely consistent, almost no tire deck the entire time. What minimal tire deck he did have? Couple tenths. Over the course of about 30-something laps.
Nice
on hard
job.
that everybody else took for 15. So, cheers to Charles. It was beautiful. Love seeing Ferrari win at Monza. The Tifosi were so excited.
Very excited.
Oh, they were lit.
The anthem. My friend Anthony was also singing the anthem. It was very cute. The Italians were hype. I love them cheering their little ole ole Leclerc. That was great. His excited selfie that he posted.
I
did not know
with the
his
mechanics.
French was so fluent.
Oh, his Italian?
No, yeah, sorry, French.
Every Ferrari driver has to learn Italian. At least
I love that.
I don't think Lewis is going to be fluent in Italian come next year.
Probably.
He does not give
Every
me.
Ferrari driver prior to Lewis
does
had
not
to
strike me
every
as
Ferrari
going to
driver
learn
prior to
Italian.
Lewis had to become fluent in Ferrari.
It's when he won and literally all English went out the window on that
It
radio.
was just Italianing. So I loved it. I also love he was so excited. Charles has this very specific Instagram filter that he uses. It's a little bit of blue toned. He has a very specific aesthetic that he goes for, and he does not break that aesthetic. Notably, when him and Lewis had that joint post, it was the Charles color filter, because Charles was not putting it on his feed without that little color filter.
Without his... Yep.
Charles immediately posted a selfie with the Tifosi without his little color filter. He was so excited. You know, love that for him. It was super cute.
I see it.
I was just so happy for him because he deserves a good win. He's had a hard, I know, so cute. He's had a hard run since Monaco. He sold his soul to win Monaco, and now he has maybe sold his soul to win Monza. So, cheers to him.
Wow, not his soul. My God.
I
Cheers
mean,
to
that's what
him.
the streets are saying.
That's what she's saying.
Or what they were saying.
So many other beautiful things, like the bells were ringing in Maranello, in the churches. Everybody was hype. It was a great time. The Tifosi were living #life.
Those flags, epic.
So good. I love those flags.
I love them.
Coming in second, we had Oscar Piastri, and then coming in third, we had Lando Norris. So let's talk about the series of events after finishing. We can go through a couple series of events. First thing we should talk about is the cooldown room. Because I just thought it was funny as well. We get a shot of the cooldown room with where we start the cooldown room, like minute or two, is with just Oscar and Lando there. Because they've already given their little immediately post interviews to Nico, and it's Oscar and Lando in there. I'm not saying that Lando moved his chair. I am saying the gap between Charles and Lando's chair versus Charles and Oscar's chair was insanity. Also, the way we
he moved his chair.
He moved his chair. The way we entered that room to dead silence. The cameras cut to the cool down.
They weren't looking at each other. They weren't acknowledging each other. They, like, the other person may as well have not been in the room with them.
Not a word. And then the way that as soon as Charles comes in, Oscar starts talking to Charles. Charles starts talking to Oscar. Lando
and they're hee hee ha ha, kiki.
Not a fucking thing. Lando's sitting there, grumpy, head in his hand, saying jack shit. And I'm like, bro, it wasn't that fucking bad.
That's the thing with Lando that I just struggle with, is that, like, he acts like a child. Yeah, great.
He is a child.
He acts like a child. But it's almost as like, I don't understand why he's so upset. Like, I understand you didn't win the race and you really wanted to. You were on pole. Like,
but you're on the podium, my guy.
But it's not even that. Like, you're not used to this by now. You do it every week. Like, at some point, just accept your fate and move on. Like, I'm tired. You're doing this every week. Every week.
Bruh.
As I say, I'm just so frustrated with him because I'm like, you get at this point, be okay with it and just do better. Just accept your fate. You didn't get the result that you wanted. Okay. And
it's definitely something. I feel like my biggest gripe with Lando's comportment after races is that it feels like if I don't get to be happy, nobody else gets to be happy either.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And his nonsense overshadows when Oscar does well.
Yeah.
Because he's over there throwing a temper tantrum.
And the thing is, plenty of racing drivers get really upset and disappointed in themselves.
Yeah.
And yet, they don't make it everybody else's problem in the way that Lando does. Like, for example, Max was pissed off by the end of the race about that goddamn car. That car was absolute shit, right? He was having to tell the fucking team, hey, perk the fuck up.
Pay attention.
Pay the fuck attention by the end of the race. He was pissed.
He said, can everyone in the background wake up?
Wake the fuck up. But guess what? When he did his post-race interviews with the Dutch commentators, he wasn't sitting there being like, oh, yeah, I'm grumpy to them.
No.
He was like, you know, he was giving an interview. He was like relatively jovial for having a fucked race and a fucked car for multiple weeks. He was just giving them the interview, maybe cracked a little joke or two. He was like, you know, shit happens. We're going to try. Whereas Lando, it's like, why can't you speak to Oscar? Because Oscar be yapping in these cooldown rooms. Like, Oscar talks in these cooldown rooms. He's your teammate. I don't care if he asks you. Like, guess what? You can be disappointed. It's a fucking skill issue. Fix your skill issue. And then keep it pushing. Like, I don't... and then we move on to the podium. And I think this is what really pissed me off. This is what really got me.
Pissed you off.
Champagne spraying portion.
Yep.
And Lando...
Yep.
When Lando does not win, viewers, in case you haven't noticed this year, ever since Miami, when he got his first win, when Lando does not win, he refuses to spray the winner with champagne.
Yep.
He absolutely refuses. Even if it had zero to do with him losing. Like, if you want to be a little bitch baby, at least be a high-stakes bitch baby, right? For example, I think that when Max walked off the fucking podium after Lewis beat him in Jeddah, I love Max. He was being a little bitch baby. But guess what? He was being a little bitch baby who was now tied with the greatest driver in the world trying to win a first championship.
Well...
Lando, you're being a little bitch baby to a guy who did not even do nothing to you in this race and isn't your championship rival.
It's not even like he took this crazy cut around you or anything like that. He just
hit you and then
made his way to the front of the pack and stayed there, which you can't do.
Yes. And so it's like, you are making it everybody else's problem. What would it hurt to fucking spray Charles? He just won in Monza. He's a Ferrari driver. What does it matter to spray Charles? He's ended up turning his back to Oscar and Charles and then spraying the Ferrari employee. I'm like, I guess good for the Ferrari employee, but the fact that you've done this
also your own teammate, you will not spray your own teammate, but you're going to go spray the Ferrari guy.
Yeah. The fact that he does this every time he loses is I'm like, oh, so it's not happenstance. You're a sore loser. Because when the person who, let's say he gets second, and the person who's in third is not somebody he's mad at, he'll spray the third place person. So it's like, oh, it's not you trying to be nice to the employee. It's just you being a bitch. And it's like, at some point you have to get over that shit. Like, you're gonna not win when you're in the fastest car because you're not that good. Well, you're not that guy. And so, unless you want to be that guy, and admittedly, it must be a crisis, like identity crisis, because you've been telling yourself for years that all of these other F1 greats just had the right car. They just had the right car. Lewis just had the right car, so it should always be first. Well, Max just had a rocket ship, so that's why he's always getting first. And then you get a rocket ship, and you can't pull it off. Okay, Bex. Then you have a rocket ship, and you can't pull it.
Phone's away while recording.
Phone's away while recording. Anyway,
I was trying to find something, but it's fine.
That's fine. You get into a rocket ship, and you realize that actually it was not just the car; it was also fantastic skill from everybody else who has done this before you, and you just don't have your skill. That has to be a crazy identity crisis.
Yeah.
But, c'est la vie. Lots of people have had that identity crisis. I'm sure Mark Webber was an absolute cunt when he realized that Sebastian Vettel was just that guy. And he just wasn't that guy. But guess what? You gotta move past it. You got to get past it. It's not an option. You can't sit around pretending you're that guy and then make everybody else's life miserable when you get a weekly reminder you're not that guy. That's not fair.
I don't know if this is a fair comparison. Lando kind of gives me a little bit of like Alonso when Alonso was in his like terrorist days.
Okay.
Like Alonso at McLaren realizing that like Lewis is just that guy.
Yeah,
and sometimes you just are not that guy.
And trying to do everything to like destroy Lewis.
Jesus.
I mean, it's true.
I mean,
I feel like I need to go back and watch this stuff.
We can maybe do that. Maybe we'll do that.
I mean, we have a 3-week break coming up soon, so another one.
That's true. We can take that 3-week break to
discuss some more controversies
and
actually record. We will be recording
because I like the controversies.
Yes. Last but not least from the race is the post-race interviews, in which Lando was once again a petulant child,
a baby.
So once again, I said it at the top of the podcast, but I feel like it's worth re-mentioning. In the pre-race interviews, the commentators asked Lando, "Are there going to be team orders to help you make up the gap to Max?" Lando said, "No, I don't want team orders. I want to race Oscar." After the race, he's walking around saying, "Oh, well, that was a risky move. If I hadn't braked, Oscar would have crashed into me. All this." Bro, he raced you. He just raced you hard. It's not like he dive bombed you and forced you off the track. He just raced you hard and left you the amount of space you needed where you could have moved to the side, and you did. But
also, you left enough space for him to fit through.
Preach it. He does not know how to defend the first lap well.
You literally left enough space for him to slide through, and so he took the space that you left him.
But the thing about it is, maybe I feel as though Lando does not. I don't know. Have y'all seen the little meme? It popped up several times on my page on Instagram specifically, but it's like, it's basically like split in two, and it's like Lando has the same race wins as like I think it's like Ocon and Pierre Gasly, and it's like, but he gets compared to like Lewis, Max, and Lewis, and all the other. And I'm just like, that is fair. And I think for me, the problem I have with, again, another problem that I have with Lando is I think Lando is not fully aware of his actual skill. I don't think Lando's that great of a driver. I think the
response to him this season has gassed his head up, because even from the first race to now, as someone who has not been watching, I see the difference in Lando, and his head has been gassed up by the commentary.
He's gotten significantly worse. I hate to say that he has always been this way, but he has always, to an extent, been this way.
To an extent,
because the commentators have always, to an extent, been like this about him. The commentary about Lando, ever since he joined F1, was that once you got him in a really good car, he was a world champion.
Yeah.
He's the future world champion. When you would ask people, like, which of the drivers on the grid is the future world champion, the answer was always Lando, right?
Really? Okay.
Yes, always. And I think he is literally having a crisis of ego, where now he is in the exact position that every single person has said that he would be in, where it would be a world championship for him. He'd be winning every race. The same position that he said other people were in. Remember, he's the one that said, well, Lewis should be winning every race. He has the best car. He only has to beat 2 people, so he should win every single race. And it's like, well, Lando, now you only have to beat 1 person. Your teammate, because you have miles better of a car, where other teams can only beat you if they really do really good strategy. You only have to beat 1 person. And you can't even consistently beat that 1 person.
Oh, wow.
And so I literally think he's having an ego crisis where he is being reckoned with the fact that, 1, he was being overly gassed and lied to this entire time. And 2, that his entire perception of what it takes to be a world champion is completely incorrect.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have it. Mark Webber said, like, a similar thing happened to him just, like, after F1, where he met Oscar Piastri for the first time, and then was like, wow, meeting Oscar made me realize why I never had what it takes to be be an F1 champion. Because I did not have that dog in me about Oscar. And it's like, I just think that Lando is experiencing... But
wait, he's saying Oscar has that dog in him?
Mark Webber
I think
said that when he met Oscar for the first time, he understood why he had never won a world championship.
Wow.
I think Oscar... But I personally think, at least my perception is the way that I see them race. I see more skill when I see Oscar racing.
Yeah.
When I see Lando racing,
yes.
I see Lando in a fast car.
Yes. Because Oscar's doing things with the car. Like, I also think that's what part of this whole overtake issue is I genuinely think that a lot of, like, and I hate to be one of the people who's like, the newer fans, but, like, in this case, I actually think it's true. The past couple of years of F1 have been a lot of DRS overtakes.
Yeah.
A lot of DRS-assisted overtakes, people overtaking on a straight line, people being able to brake later into the curve because they're just going faster. Like, a lot of DRS-assisted overtakes that people rarely make a really risky overtake anymore. Right? The only risky overtake prior to Oscar that I can, like, vividly remember seeing and being excited about was Charles in Vegas last year when he overtook Checo. And everybody thought he was going to crash into fucking Checo. And it's like, no, he just did an actual, real chicane overtake. And fucking, like, actually got by him just by placing his car and getting by him. And I feel like that's also what this is, where it's like, everybody's freaking out, because compared to a DRS overtake, which you always see Lando doing, yeah, this does look crazy and dangerous and like he's going to get him, because he's having to put in the work to move around him. He's not just getting a slipstream moving and then, like,
no, he's showing his skill as a driver.
Yeah. It's like, everyone's saying, like, it was so dangerous. I'm like, that's just how passing works when you are at a chicane and you don't have DRS.
But also, these are some of the fastest pieces of machinery in the freaking world. Anything that they do is going to be dangerous.
Literally. I'm like, guys, please be real. Please be real.
I don't know. I just feel as though I'm just kind of tired of the non-sensory behavior that we see from Lando week in and week out. I think that if the team has not given orders on strategy, that that the drivers should just drive and race each other. And I think everyone needs to. If McLaren isn't bothered by it, then why is everyone else bothered by it? You know, that's my whole thing. So, and I just want Lando. I don't know. I keep saying. I feel like Lando has always not always, but Lando for a long time has been lumped into this young driver. He's really new, but Lando's been driving for quite a while.
You said he's 6 years now with McLaren, right?
6 years. They treat him like a baby.
How old is Lando?
Lando's my age, I believe. So
Okay.
I believe he is 24, but let me check.
So he's been at McLaren since he was 18.
I think he might actually be a year older than me, because I feel like he's been at McLaren since... No, he's 24, yeah. He was born... Actually, he's older than me. He was born a couple months before me.
He'll be 25 this year. So,
Yep.
I don't know. For me, Lando... I'm just
by this point, he should be settled.
I'm just tired of everyone lumping Lando in as a young driver, new driver. Because I'm so sorry, there were drivers at this age with this much experience in F1 winning championships solidly. And I just feel as though it's time to take the kids' gloves off when discussing Lando and his lack of performance.
Well, you've seen his behavior after races. They know that if they take the kid gloves off, he's just going to have a larger temper tantrum.
And also, too, I also think one aspect that plays into it is that Lando has a huge fan base. And
yes, the Lando Norris fan base is some of the least racing-minded fan base I've ever seen in my life. And the thing is, I don't think you have to be. Like, let the record show. I am a true fandom supporter. I am a true fangirl. If you want to watch every single race because you think Lando Norris is hot and you just like him and think he's funny, that is perfectly fine.
Wait, who thinks he's funny?
His entire fan base. His entire fan base. I think when they looked at who were like the most popular F1 drivers, removing like the outlier of Lewis existing, at least currently on the grid, I think Lando topped the list because he has a lot of Admittedly,
and not Leclerc.
Admittedly, I'm pretty sure his stocks have fallen because when I tell you, I have never seen an F1 driver hate tweet get as many likes as I saw this week. I saw a tweet that said, "Fuck your championship, Oscar Piastri to Lando at turn 4 of Monza," or whatever.
Well,
100,000 likes.
Where was the lie?
I mean, it's true. But I've never seen people rally that much behind a driver being like fucking annoying. So I think that it might not be going well for him. His stocks, that might have changed by now. But a lot of people think Lando is hot and funny. And you know what? You are allowed to like F1 and watch F1 because Lando, in your eyes, is hot and funny. You also should not be arguing wheel with people who actually like car racing.
Well,
like, trying to tell us that Lando is the greatest driver ever just makes Lando look worse. Because everybody can see that you're being nonsensical. So it actually just makes him look worse when you compare him to people who aren't his peers. Because then people go, okay, let's pull up the numbers. And it makes your guy look bad that you are comparing him to people with 7 championships, 4 championships. I saw somebody say today that Sebastian Vettel was a mid driver who's worse than Lando Norris. And I was like, oh, baby. Oh,
I don't even know. I don't even know Jack about Jack, and I know that's bullshit.
I'm like, you don't even know what they're about to do to you out in these streets. I'm praying for you because they don't play about Sebastian Vettel out here.
Then Sebastian, okay.
Yes. All that to say,
mid driver. Okay.
All that to say, Lando was very annoying this race. I'm sure he'll be very annoying next week and all the weeks after that.
Yes.
I just thought, for a quick side note, I was just wondering, as we kept saying his name over and over again, I was like, is Lando his real name? Like his actual, like, birth certificate name? His government name? It is his actual name.
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
And Z-Way, I think we've hit the man enough. I think he's already down. So we can talk a little bit about the fact that our next race is Azerbaijan in 2 weeks, on the 15th.
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
So we'll probably do an interim episode maybe next week. Probably we'll figure out what the theme is. We might be looking back at some iconic F1 races so we can really feel the spirit. We have a running list of iconic F1 races, so maybe we'll do a little blast of the past and we'll watch some of that. I do have a question for you, ladies. It is very important. And depending... And
what you got?
And, okay, well, first I have to ask, do either of you have plans immediately following this podcast? That's the first question.
No.
Okay, great.
To sleep.
Okay, fantastic. That's what I wanted to hear. Because depending on your answer to this question will depend on if you sleep now or in 30 minutes. That's all I'm going to say. So,
okay.
Have you heard Sabrina Carpenter's new album, Short and Sweet?
No. I'm not staying up to listen to Sabrina Carpenter's album.
You are staying up to listen to some of it. You are staying up to listen to some of it. We will talk about this after the podcast. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
You can send me a list and I will listen to it tomorrow, baby.
I listen to some songs, not the whole album.
Thank you. You will be staying up for at least 10 minutes. Because there are a couple songs that I need. Nope, Felicia, you will really like the songs I'm going to show you. So that's why.
Wait, please, one of them?
That one of those I think Felicia will really like.
I already listened to Please.
No,
I know that one too.
That's not the ones I want to show her. Please stop being a normie. I'm begging you to stop. Anyway,
Not a normie.
I think it is impeccable. The album is only 36 minutes long, which I love. A little short, like ride to work album. So I've been listening to it on repeat. I was hoping you two would listen to it because I think there's some really fun, funky songs in there. We're going to listen to 3 of them, which will only take like 8 minutes. So calm down. Not on the pod, after the pod. And
you can just send me the list and I'll listen to it tomorrow.
And I don't want to talk about it in a week. I want to hear you and watch it. No. Okay? You delayed us with your fire alarm. You can stick around for 8 extra minutes.
Girl, it's not my fault.
Anyway.
Somebody over there burning dinner for their kids.
Anyway, viewers, next week you'll get to hear about how much Bex and Felicia loved the Short and Sweet album.
So why don't we save my reaction for next week?
No, because we're going to save it anyway because we're ending the recording and only I'm going to hear your reaction.
But then it won't be genuine on the podcast. I would have already discussed it.
Anyway,
a lot of
thanks
things
for listening, guys. It's been great.
Please rate, review, subscribe, follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok. Our name is the same everywhere. 3 Girls, 1 Track. Send this to your friend who also needs to listen to the Short and Sweet album. We love it. And we will see you next week for some extra pod content.
Bye
listeners.